Despair is nearing as it's currently winning. But Fairy Tail Finals Series episode 27 here. Well, a lot of things happening at all at once, including a new opening. I have to say though, I'm not sure what I can feel of this opening. I mean, it's not a bad opening, don't get me wrong, but it's not. It didn't really affect me immediately, unlike the first opening of the final series. You know, Power of the Dream. That one felt really here the moment I really felt it. This one it may take a while, mostly because I don't know. Is this the final opening of the final series? Because we are nearing the end. Maybe just 20. Well, yeah, 24 or so episodes left, so this may very well be the final end opening. But I think the reason why I actually, well, criticized that a little bit is because I was wishing, if we're really gonna have a final opening, it needs to have an emotion about it. You know, high end or something like emotion. And this one was a little bit more pumping up, but it didn't really feel like that completely. But again, it wasn't a bad one. But this is the Angry Anime Fan, and this is the Despair Reviewer. Either way, the aftermath of Irene's little moments is shown, and Gajeel was indeed saved through that landscape, which was a relief. However, and so was also Natsu and Lucy. One of the bigger things can happen is that now that Mavis was free, a part of her soul actually detached from her. And what was that soul? Well, none other than her former childhood, well, not former childhood friend, but her childhood friend. The part that, well, you know, that was always known of. Sorry. My mind is not completely where it's. I was gonna say Shelia, but that wasn't exactly her name. So it's from Fairy Tail Zero. How she always was where Mavis' side when it turns out that she was just a very realistic illusion that only Mavis could see. That was always with her. Until the day she met her comrades that formed the Fairy Tail Guild. So it was it actually says that it actually shows that very emotional Fairy Tail Zero scene on back when they were together. And effectively, one could say that her childhood friend was the fairy that was part of her heart. It's actually a very brilliant scene in that situation. So either way, in these situations is that she contacts the rest of the guilds who are all over the place, including Irene was teleported across, but she ended up in the royal capital where she actually taunts the one and everything else. I have to say, Irene is very sexy. Really indeed. The fact when she sits down that it's focused on her bare legs, yeah. I can definitely see the sexiness of that all. But the biggest despair is the fact that Irene's changing the landscape actually brought Seraph exactly to where Mavis is. And Mavis finally moves again, but uses her magic to create illusion that she has clothes, which, by the way, you know, not really sure if that works, but truly this could have been what is called checkmate. So thanks to the part of Mavis' soul that remember everything else, she contacts the Fairy Tail Guild, who all heads towards the direction of the guild that she knows is, because after all she's still connected to Mavis as a part of her soul. So then And she even reveals that yes, Sarah, I mean not Shelia, Sarah, that was her name. Sorry that I forgot. It's just not, my mind is not with me anyway. So either way, Sarah is the one to tell where they are meant to go, and she is with Gael, who's a little bit embarrassed, you know, of having what he said to Levi, because he thought it was his final moments, but that's just kind of adorable. As Irene makes short works of it all, Brandish and August, who ended up together, also goes towards the direction. Finally, though, another group runs into a familiar face. Yes, that is Yukino and Elfman, who actually runs into Sorano, who you know as Angel, one of the members of the Crimson Corps, as well as a former criminal, as well as Yukino's older sister. And finally, another group of Irene's personal squad attacks the group of Lysana and Mira Jane. So Mira Jane decides to stay behind to try to fight them, but surprisingly the two goons prove to be very powerful, so she decides to show her true triumph card, revealing that she devoured, or at least absorbed, a lot of the Tartaros souls from the Guild Tartaros. In a way, that is perfect karma. The Tartaros hated humans, so now it's perfectly fine that a human absorbed their souls. That is karma to its finest. And indeed, it does defeat the two of them in one hit, even though it consumes a lot of magic. Only to find out that those two were not real humans. They were swords who had been created into a human form. Basically, they were enchanted, as Irene get close to her again. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of things that happened, and one of the reasons why it's pretty difficult to put it in words. Some comedic moments, especially of Natsu getting on top of Lucy and still holding on to her boobs until she said to go it. Gajiel's little blushing face when he realized that he actually is alive and has confessed to Levi, and some more. But yeah, there was some emotion there, especially Levi hearing that Gajiel was alive, and even that Fairytale Zero scene of Sarah and Mavis. I have to say that is a very beautiful scene in Fairytale Zero, but Zero had a lot of beautiful scenes. So, also is the fact that Irene turns the princess into a frog and says that the king is gonna reject you now. However, he doesn't. In fact, still takes the frog form of his daughter, saying that she is his daughter and he will never abandon her. The fact that that actually brings a change into Irene seems to suggest that she has a very big problem with someone's daughter. So this is basically it. 7 out of 10 for me. And a return of Sarah, who, by the way, she seems to be lit up a lot more than the other characters. I guess that to show that she is outwardly. Give me your thoughts if you have any.